Computer. Hey everybody, how you doing? We've been on a little bit of a hiatus for, because you had to hit us every week with football, so we decided to take a little break. Why not? But we're back better than ever. I'm here with my pal Billy Smith. It must be Orange Day today, Bill. We both got that going
That's
on.
it. My favorite color.
There it is. It is for you this time of year, at least for now, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
But we do have some sports stuff to catch up on, and we're going to try and do that. It's an exciting time in sports. The NHL playoffs have started. The NBA playoffs have started. Baseball, Major League Baseball has started, and football's hot stove is going strong with the draft coming up next week. So, going to be interesting whether there's trades and guys out there. And Bill, we might as well hit the football stuff first because we don't have a whole lot. We have to share things people know already. Quick recap is Aaron Rodgers still not traded.
No,
Uh, yeah,
he's
everybody's
still
saying he's
hiding
going
in
to
the
go to the
basement
Jets.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, probably in a dark room somewhere, wondering. So I plan to play for the Jets. Well,
Yeah.
good luck. I
Uh,
mean, they look like they're going to try and trade you, but the Packers won a lot, and the it looked like the reporting is that the Jets were all set until they took it to Woody Johnson, the owner, and he said, "Nope, too much."
mhm.
Because apparently, what scared him was Rogers' thing about when I go into this quote unquote dark room or black room or whatever. I'm thinking right now I'm 90% retired. And then he
Yeah.
supposedly reflected and came out. So I don't blame somebody like Woody Johnson that says, "Hey, I'm going to sign this guy to a contract. He plays 1 year and retires. Where are we then?
Mhm.
We're back to square one. Especially if he wins a Super Bowl, he may decide to retire and go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
So, you don't know. So I don't blame him for saying, I'm not giving up a first round draft pick. I'm not giving something else up. Um, so supposedly they're reworking it, but supposedly the Packers aren't going to take anything less. But somebody will blink at some point. So it's
Yeah,
one of
I
those.
think around draft time, I think that may be where they pull the trigger somewhere, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it is draft pick and all that stuff. You're right. It could be. Jets probably have a higher draft pick than the Packers, so they'll probably flop them or something maybe and add a couple other things. Who knows? But that's going to be interesting. Kansas City let McCole Hardman go to free agency, so he's gone. But they're looking at signing a couple things. And news out of Arizona is DeAndre Hopkins, the all-pro wide receiver, wants to be traded. And his choice of teams are, here's a shocker, Kansas City and Buffalo.
He wants to win.
So he wants to win, and he's realizing it's not going to happen in Arizona. So he wants to be traded. They say they're going to try and trade him because they want to clear his numbers off the books. But there was speculation that his number's so high they may just go ahead and cut him at some point.
Yeah,
Man,
I mean, I
eh,
don't know. I don't know if Buffalo or Kansas City could afford him, but he'll have to come cheap, I guess.
actually they've said both can afford him.
How
The
they both
Chiefs,
count. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just.
yeah. I mean it's tight, but they can both afford him. And if it's close, both of those two teams
Oh
will
yeah,
make some
they'll. Yeah,
moves to
absolutely.
get it done. So
I
I
just read
didn't
today.
go ahead.
Cook from Minnesota running back. They might cut him too.
I heard that as well. I heard he might be on the firing line too.
Yeah,
Supposedly Philly's looking at him because Philly lost Miles Sanders, though they did sign Rashard Penny to replace him.
yeah. But if you get Dalvin Cook, then that's you.
You get Dalvin Cook, it's Katie bar the door right there. That's an upgrade from Sanders. I mean,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
no,
Not even
I mean,
close.
oh yeah. The other bit of Philadelphia Eagle news and NFL news is that Jalen Hurts signed a $255 million 5-year contract. So it's over 50 a mil with 176 guaranteed. Uh, Not bad, not
Not
bad.
bad for a 1 year wonder right now. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, he's got to prove he's a little more than that. But I'll be honest with you. I think he
I
is.
think he'll be all right.
I think
Oh,
he's
it
going to
all
be.
depends. The offensive coordinator. I mean, from last year,
Yeah,
could
your
have been a big
OC is
difference.
gone, your DC is gone,
Uh,
but they're saying
I don't
that the
know.
guy that's replacing the offensive coordinator was already on the staff and worked right under the offensive coordinator all season last season. So that part may be a fairly smooth transition, but we'll see. Jason Kelsey is staying. He's gonna play one more year at least. So but Philly did lose some defenders. They've signed a couple, but I think they're a linebacker or two kind of short as far as top quality is concerned. They replaced the secondary people that left with a couple, but it's going to be interesting. One surprise was everybody thought Darius Slay was gone, and
Right.
he resigned. He
Mm-hmm.
said, "No, I'm staying here. I like it here." So give him credit for that. I just read, not Baker Mayfield. Matthew Stafford is going to be ready and getting ready to start OTAs for the Rams. So he's coming off his injury.
Yeah.
Mahomes, they said, is just now starting to walk around and play around in the pocket from that high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting back. He's almost back to normal already. So Kansas City did lose Chad Henne. Henne retired. So they signed Blaine Gabbert to
Mm-hmm.
back up Mahomes. But Andy Reid, he must have already seen something and then figures they can coach him up from there, which is what they did
Right.
with Henne. Henne had a
Yeah.
couple great moments, not just last year, but the other Chiefs Super Bowl win and playoff run. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's face it, we both know Andy Reid knows what he's doing at quarterbacks. So,
Oh, and yeah, no doubt.
and what's interesting for you is the new offensive coordinator for the Redskins is Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs' old offensive coordinator, but this time he's going to get to run the show, um, which is probably what he needs to do to get out of that shadow so that he can get his own head coaching gig someday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be interesting, I think, the NFL.
Yeah.
And of course, the big name Lamar Jackson, still representing himself, has not signed. Is not at
We.
OTAs, but that's not unexpected. Saquon Barkley for the Giants isn't at OTA. A lot of players,
Yeah. Yeah.
if
They
they've
don't
already
start
played
yet.
for the team, it's voluntary. Why bother going? If
Mm-hmm.
it's not, unless it's a new coaching staff, then you want to see what they're doing. But
Right.
if it's the same team, same coaches, and you're a veteran, especially a skills player, I take the summer off if you can. What the hell? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Lamar wants his contract guaranteed. He wants over
All
200
guaranteed.
mil,
Yeah.
and
I
I
don't
think
see
it's
it
going to be
happening.
tough.
I don't know too many teams that will be.
No,
And if
you'll have
teams
one
do
or
do
two.
that, they still got to give up two first round draft
Right,
picks. I
right,
mean,
exactly. Um, there was talk that your team, the Commanders, would do it, but probably not
yeah,
now. Now
the
they're going to have
Colts,
new ownership.
the Colts were kicking
Colts,
the kicking the tires on it,
yeah, I think the Colts were kicking the tires, but I
I
think
don't
they
know
thought
what they're gonna
they
do.
didn't like the tread.
They're probably going to draft a quarterback, which I'm not really thrilled about any of the
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
yeah, I know what you're saying. There's not any. The first couple look okay, but nobody looks really outstanding to
No,
me.
I mean
Could be wrong,
Richardson's got the physical aspect of it, but
but he
you
needs to be coached
you,
up.
you throw 53% in college, that's terrible.
Right. Yeah. He's got
Not
potential,
accurate.
but you
So
gotta coach him up. He's not going to start year one. If he
no,
does, it's because he's the backup and the starter got hurt.
right,
He's a project.
right.
You draft
And
him.
the other one they're looking at is Levi.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then remember you got Young and Stroud, but they'll go 1-2
Yeah, but
probably.
they should go 1-2.
Yeah, one will go to the Packers or Panthers,
Panthers and the other
Carolina,
one, Carolina.
and other one will go somewhere. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Jets in Green Bay, and do they draft, or if they don't get somebody, they're going to have to start Zach Wilson again. So, well, yeah, well, if you're the Jets, yeah, and you're getting players, and now, so we'll see what happens. I mean, they signed
Yeah, 'cause they
Beckham Jr.
Beckham, yeah. And today the Steelers traded for Allen Robinson.
They did trade. They did. I know they were talking about it.
And
They
I
thought it
tell you
was going to
what,
happen.
I think they hosed the Rams because they flipped seventh round picks, which wasn't only maybe like 10 spots or 12 spots.
Yeah.
And the Rams are keeping 50% of Allen Robinson's salary. So I mean,
Wow. Wow. The Rams. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
yeah,
That's
they
what that
basically
looks
gave him
like.
away for nothing.
Yeah. Um, Other than that, I think the NFL is just going to be that soap opera that it's going to keep running to at least draft day, and we'll see what happens after that. The two big news articles will be Lamar Jackson signing and Aaron Rodgers getting traded. Everything
Right.
else will be maybe apparent after timing. If Hopkins gets traded to somebody, that could be a big splash if it's not at the same time as the other two. So, but and I'm always interested to see when Philly's got a decent team what they do. Like last year, trading their pick and getting or 2 years ago getting AJ Brown. I mean, that's a big move. Let's see
Yeah.
what Howie Roseman does this year. So uh, so football, NFL, that's interesting. Some people think the XFL might be rigged. They think there was a game the other day. I didn't see it, but they said there was something that just looked so out of place that it looked like it had to be set up almost like a WWE thing. Like they thought it was rigged. I
That's
don't know if I believe that, but I'd have to see what they were talking about. And you never know. I may watch it and go, "Oh yeah, it's a setup," you know. So, but I don't even know what game or what. I don't know the specifics. I just saw that flying around. I think that's really about it. The USFL is getting ready to start, buddy.
that's gonna start. Yeah.
That's going to start soon. Yay. Sorry, I didn't mean not to sound excited, but I'm not. Anything else you want to do before we wrap up the NFL? Anything else you
No,
want to
I
say
think
about the NFL? No?
no, just looking forward to the draft and the first round. And after that, then it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
But
And who cares after that, right?
yeah.
Before we go on to our next sport, I'm
Let's
sorry,
give
go
a
ahead.
shout out. Let's give a shout out to Mel Kite.
Oh, oh,
let's
you
get
had to
let's
get
give
me
let's
started,
get
didn't you? You had to get me going. No, I'm going to try and stay calm because I was told my blood pressure has been getting too high lately. And
Oh,
I'm
okay. Sorry
sure
about that.
he's one of the friggin' reasons. That
I
wind
can't stand
tunnel,
that freaking
wind
guy.
tunnel tested freaking hairdo wearing.
You know, a
Man.
definition of a weasel. He's a
Oh,
weasel.
I mean, if you looked Weasel up in the dictionary, if they had pictures, it'd be his picture.
Yeah.
And I wonder, ESPN must figure it out because if you notice, they still mention him and he's still going to be on the show. But most of the time, they bring on McShay
Yeah,
to talk
Michelle.
about
Yeah.
draft picks. But McShay's no better as far as
Yeah.
percentage, but at least he's not that condescending, patronizing prick. Oh, there we go. Oh,
Oh,
boy.
there we go.
Okay, there goes the YouTube thing again. I got to check off no kids. He's a bastard. He's an idiot. 27% or whatever it was. I don't even know it was that high. I keep thinking 22 for some reason. I could do that. There's no way, Bill, you or I couldn't pick the first 3, 4 picks of the draft or 5 picks.
No,
Big deal.
I agree. Yeah.
Big deal.
I
And
don't even think he
people
gets
too.
that right.
No, I don't think he gets it right all the time. No, no way. Uh, and it's funny when they go, well, this team's going to trade for that. And then you find out, or you see a headline, especially on the internet, this team's trading for that. And then you look down and the first sentence is proposed. You're full of shit. Quit putting a headline out there that it's a done deal, you prick. You're thinking, hey, this is going to, you jackass. But he's an idiot. He's good salesman, obviously, because he schmoods them into a freaking career because
Yeah,
nobody
that's
else was
true.
doing it. So there is a story behind him starting this whole draft predicting nonsense, but he's not good. I mean,
Uh,
you know, Miss Cleo could have done a better friggin' shot years ago, I am Miss Cleo. Call my number, I give you the first draft pick, man. Get the frig out of here, bastards. Other than that, yeah.
uh,
Well, let me give a real shout out to our friend Dennis Ingraldi at Vineland Realty Corporation.
Hey,
634 East
Dennis.
Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Yes, I did remember, Bill, and remembered early. His number, if you want to reach them, is 856-690-9482. That's Vineland Realty Corporation, whether you have a business or personal residential need, you want to buy, you want to sell, you want to lease, you want to rent it out. Dennis and his folks down at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey will take care of you. And if they can't handle it themselves, they know some resources and they can get you the help you need. That's Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Their phone number again, 856-690-9482. And tell them you were sent from John and Bill from the Cheap Seats. And we sent you on down. And Dennis knows some sports, so you can chat a little bit with him as well. So now that Dennis has been thanked, and we appreciate everything he's done for everything for the public, John, let's go into the next thing. What is the next thing? Let's go NBA. What do you think, Bill? The playoffs are out. It's interesting. I think we both feel the same way. I'm tired of hearing about the Lakers, but since they made the trades they made to get deeper, they're actually winning, and I loathe, I hate, I despise hearing about the freaking Lakers constantly. Yeah. It's constant. LeBron James, la 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 la. Anthony Davis, la la la. Though I don't mind Anthony Davis, I kind of like him, but the Lakers, please, somebody shoot me. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of LeBron. I know he's maybe the greatest player to ever play the game or one of the top 4 or 5, but I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing about it.
I'm tired of hearing about it too. And I got a point. I think Dallas Mavericks got fined for sitting people.
$750,000 they got fined.
Don't you think LeBron could have came back a little bit sooner and they just sat him out waiting for the playoffs?
I think so.
So, I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, the Mavericks weren't the only team that did this. Problem was the Mavericks were blatant and sat like 7 guys. That was the problem. But you're right. If they'd have sat just Luka and Kyrie, you might have heard a little something, but you wouldn't have gotten what they were too blatant. But Mark Cuban, he doesn't care. 750,000 to him is like $5 to you and me. It's nothing. Yeah. Rich, overpriced bastard.
He's another arrogant.
Yeah, he's an arrogant prick. I don't care. Everybody says, "Oh, he does this for the community." Yeah, and the fact that you know about it means he's got a PR machine out there. He didn't do it just for fun. He did it for a tax write-off and for publicity.
Yeah, for that and being on that Shark Tank.
Oh, Shark Tank and all that. Yeah, he's a patronizing, condescending SOB too. He just tries to hide it a little better than Mel asshole Kiper. Oh, there we go again.
That could be our new show, the SOBs.
SOBs, yeah. We should change it from sports to patronizing PSOB, patronizing sons of bitches. Or PB, patronizing bastards. Son of bitches. Seriously. But some series look like they're going to be interesting. Warriors are in trouble, down 2-0 to the Kings. Yes. But they do go back to Oakland to play the next game. Knicks and Cavaliers could be a good series. I think game 2 is tonight. Philly's kind of having their way with the Nets, though they didn't click it in until about 5 minutes into the third period. But
I think it's going to be them in Boston the next round.
That's what. Or I thought they were talking. Yeah, they are. They're talking about them playing Boston, and I'm like,
and Milwaukee's going to be in trouble if
Giannis is hurt. Now he had an MRI on his back, and it supposedly came up clean, but he has a contusion, lower back, which means he's got a bruise. So he's got but a bruise on your back for a guy that tall. And we're probably talking bone bruise. So he's in some pain. So his status is still unsure. And John Morant's in trouble in Memphis. Memphis is in trouble because his wrist is sprained. There's no break. But I saw the film and he did hyperextend it. It's almost as bad as rolling an ankle. And of course, in basketball, you need that hand. So if he's limited at all, that's going to hurt Memphis, I think. So
Yeah.
um, so there's some interesting stuff going on out there, but um, Minnesota might be in a little bit of trouble. They're not playing very well. So, but I think you're right. It could be Philly, Boston next round. Uh, looks like the Knicks, if they keep playing well, could end up against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And then if you go out west, you got, Sacramento, LA, Phoenix is in trouble. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Boston's up 10 with 2 minutes left to go in the second period.
Second period. But they're
54
going to,
44.
is that in Boston tonight?
It's in Boston, and Cleveland at home is up by 2 with 2:55 left in the first.
That's kind of a gimme right there. That's gonna be that should be a tough series. That one might go 6 or 7,
Mm-hmm.
or all the games, even if it's 4 or 5, would be very close. It just happens to be close. MVP race, they're looking at Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. A lot of people think Embiid has the inside track, probably because Jokic has won 2 in a row, and Giannis has won before that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Embiid does get it. But I think of the 3 of them, no matter what, if you pick one of those 3, which they will, obviously, you can't really argue it.
Yeah.
You pull them away from their team and they're nothing. Giannis was a little better than Embiid most games this season, but Embiid was better than Jokic, and Jokic supposedly outplayed Giannis. So there's no real gauge there either, if you think about it. I'm mixed on it because it is an individual award, but if you remove that player, what's the team going to do? And all 3 of those teams would struggle without that player. So
yes,
I could see that. Next on the list, the National Hockey League, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Some good games.
Yeah.
There was a double overtime game last night
Yeah.
between Minnesota and Dallas, and Minnesota
Yep.
pulled it out.
Minnesota pulled that out. It was an overtime last night. Edmonton and was it Boston?
Oh, Edmonton and LA.
Edmonton and LA. Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, Edmonton's out west.
Yeah.
Good game. The LA won in
LA
over.
upset them.
Yeah. And did you see the goal? It would have been in regulation. It was disallowed because of a high stick by Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
And the stick wasn't extremely high,
Yeah.
but it was close. Some people were saying, "Oh man, you probably let that one go." But I will say, when you look, LA, the guys knew right away. They were saying, "No, it's not going to count."
Right. Well, they called it no goal, right?
Yeah, they called it a goal.
Oh, they called it a goal.
And then they reviewed it. And then when they reviewed it, that's when they overturned it. And then, of course, game went to overtime, and LA won. So, then of course
fun
you've
to
got
watch. I like that team. They're pretty fun to watch.
Edmonton. Yeah, yeah. I think they're just maybe one player away, one more defender. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Boston, boy, they still look great. They
Boston.
still look great. I mean, they won last night. Again, a close game, but they're hard to stop. I think they may be the team. Well, they are the team to beat, but they may be one of the few teams that have the best record and go on to win the cup.
Yeah.
But I think there's more competition for them in the East than there would be if they were out west.
Yeah, they'll play the winner of Tampa Bay, Toronto.
Yeah, and
Right
neither one
now,
of them is a slouch.
Tampa Bay's up 1-0.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be tough, I think, for both teams.
They're up 2-0 in the middle of the first.
2-0 in the first.
So they're already putting it to them.
Woo!
Sorelli, got the second one, and the X Flyer Delmar scored
Oh
for
yeah,
the first goal. Yeah,
yeah.
fourth
My
liner.
team, my team's still in it.
Yeah,
Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah,
they look tough
yeah,
too.
yeah. Your team, used to be one of my teams, is needs a complete fucking revamp.
Oh, well,
They're
they got
awful.
rid of their
They did get rid of the
GM.
GM, right?
Yeah, they got rid of the GM. But you know what? Comcast owns them,
As long as they're making money,
and
they
that
don't care if they win
that
or
tells you
lose.
right there when a
Yeah,
corporation like
yeah,
that owns you,
yeah. Same,
not
like
good.
the days of Ed Snyder running it and giving a shit are over.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
when you had nobody from the Snyder family running it, that's it. Bobby Clark wasn't very good.
Nah.
Holmgren
No, that's the
wasn't.
whole thing. They have these old flyers. Yeah, they were great players, but they're just
Yeah,
not
but they're
good
not trained to
front
be
front
executives and
front
talent
management. Yeah, that's
evaluators.
yeah.
That hurts. I mean, um, they gotta just sweep the board and start all over. I
Yep.
think. I mean, somebody offers you a trade for Van Riemsdyk or somebody, you got to take it. Just start it over. Get draft picks. Get whatever you
Yeah, good
can.
draft. And then and bring back Kate Smith. That's what you need. Start
That's
off with
right.
right there.
They bring back Kate Smith, I'll start rooting for him again. But they won't.
They
So
won't.
so they're an X team.
Yeah.
So X favorite. It's a shame.
The woke
Uh,
goes on.
yep. We move on. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think it'll probably come down to Boston in the East, though they'll have a little bit of a fight. Uh, the West is tough. The West is
Yeah.
going to be tough. I mean, the Avalanche are good, not as good as they were last year, but sleeping giants. You can't just ignore them. You
No,
don't
no,
know.
they're
Edmonton could turn things around. The Kings look pretty
Edmonton,
good.
and then the Golden Knights.
Yeah, no slouch there. Vegas.
They're slouch either. So
Yeah, yeah. And Tampa Bay's got the best goalie, maybe in the world. So
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of times it's the goaltender that wins the whole thing for you.
Hmm.
So I mean, if they stay in the hunt, you never know. I mean, Tampa Bay is pretty good. So we'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting. But hockey is very exciting in the playoffs, especially. It
Yeah,
really
it's a
is.
lot of fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Of course, since we were here last, we have a new NCAA men's basketball champion and a new women's NCAA basketball champion. I was shocked that South Carolina got beat by Iowa. It was the first time they lost all year. They were like 33-0 or something, and Iowa beats them in the semis, in
Hmm.
the Final Four. And then, but Iowa, I think, spent so much energy against South Carolina, they didn't have quite enough left to fight off LSU. Um,
Nah, no.
I think they just ran out of energy, ran out of gas. Um, and LSU played very well. They beat them. People were making a big thing out of the Reese for LSU doing this thing and showing the
Hmm.
ring finger and all that. But even Caitlin Clark from Iowa said that's part of the game. And then you come back to look at it, and she had done the same thing all
Yeah.
season long to everybody. So she wasn't upset by it. And I give her credit for coming out because people were asking her, hey, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, it's part of the game. It's we
Hmm.
trash talk. That's what it is. She had the right to do it. And so props to Caitlin Clark and Reese played really well. And so LSU outplayed them and
Yeah.
they earned it. In the men's, wild this year because it was so
Oh, the
even.
upsets. Good
The
Lord.
upsets were crazy, and it's because they were so even. I
Hmm.
mean, the Final Four had two teams in it that never should have been there in most years, with
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic and who's the one? Oh, San Diego State.
Yeah.
Normally, they would have never been there. Um, they played tough until they got to the final against Connecticut, and then Connecticut just was too
Yeah.
much. They had gotten better during the season, and but there were no number ones left, even in the
Yeah.
Final Four. No number
Final Four is
ones.
no
They'd
number.
all been knocked off. Kansas was knocked off. Purdue. I can't remember who the other two are. Houston. They were all knocked off. Oh, Arizona, I think it was. All gone. So by the time you got to the Final Four, you really weren't sure, but it looked like to me Connecticut all the way, and that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
with you too.
Connecticut, a good team. And some people thought they should have been a number one anyway over Arizona, but they weren't. No number ones, and actually number two, because I think Connecticut was a 3 seed. So I think they said one and
Yeah, I
no
believe so.
ones
Yeah,
and no
yeah,
twos. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
but a good tournament. A lot of upsets, like you said. Man, a lot of last second buzzer beaters to win games and move on. Oh, and that's got to be heartbreaking. I mean, but they're fun to watch, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
truly was March and April madness. It really
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yep.
Uh, unless you got something else, Bill, the last thing we can touch on is baseball, or as James Earl Jones would say, baseball. It's
Yeah,
Amer-
no,
it's
you
America.
got that sounds good. We'll go to MLB.
Yeah, MLB. Hey, you know me. Uh, Shohei the World Baseball Classic was great, by the way. I know the U.S. lost, uh, but man, could you have asked for a better confrontation to end the thing with Ohtani pitching to Trout?
Yeah,
Two teammates, two of the two best, maybe, if not the two of the best players
best
in
players in the
the
league.
world, really.
Yeah,
Definitely in Major League Baseball. Ohtani, I mean, that guy could make the Hall of Fame just hitting. And he
yeah.
pitches great too. He's like the ace of the Angels staff.
And he's like 28 years old.
Yeah, he's just hitting his prime. And striking out Trout was just over the top. I mean, that's amazing to me. Um, and it's what everybody was wondering, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? You brought him in relief, and it happened. And a lot of people forget Ohtani's lefty. So it was lefty versus righty.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It
but with
was.
Ohtani, I don't think it matters. He's just got so many pitches. Um, so it was the World Baseball Classic was great. Most of the games were really fun to watch. Um, they don't have all the speed up rules that the MLB has put in. Now, some of the speed up rules aren't so bad. You are seeing a little bit more base stealing. That's interesting. Yet you're still seeing some catchers able to throw guys out. Realmuto is still on the money, throwing guys out. I saw that. So he's still, most of the catchers are still playing pretty good because they've made adjustments. I did see somebody must have forgotten the balk rule, and I think it was for Philly, and they threw to first. Didn't get the guy, balk, and he goes to second. It's like, they forgot.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's been a couple of the clock violations, both hitters and I saw a game end. Who was it? There was a game ended on a clock. Oh, Manny Machado. Doesn't break my heart because I don't like that freaking guy. He's too much of a hot dog. I mean, he's way over the line. I mean, he's just an arrogant son of a bitch. When he plays and everything else, a hothead. I think it was a regular season game. He was called out to end the game because he didn't step in the box in time and violated the clock thing. And it was like, strike 3, you're out. And the thing is, you can argue it with the ump all you want, but it's not even in his control. If the clock is 0-0, it's 0-0, baby.
It's
You're
0-0.
done. There's no way around it. So
hold on 1 second, John.
Yep. So while we're away, we'll once again mention my pal Dennis at Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, 856-690-9482. Go see Dennis with your real estate needs there in South Jersey. And I see Billy's back.
Yeah, the old pooch had to go
Oh
out.
yeah, I've got mine outside here. He's right outside my screen door. He's doing fine. But, yeah, it's I think it's going to be interesting. I think you look at the American League. Uh,
I
Tampa's
tell you what,
obviously
Tampa, whew,
started what they were 13-0 before they got beat by
13-0
Toronto.
and
So
they're
they look
one and
good.
three the last 4 games now.
Yeah. Oh, they look on fire. Toronto and the Yankees are going to give them a run. Your team is right behind them, and then my Red Sox. The Red Sox just don't look good, and they got injuries already too. So
Yeah, yeah,
and they're in the boat where they can't afford injuries, and they've got a couple.
right.
So it's not good. Um, it wouldn't. I mean, they signed Devers, but they didn't keep Bogarts. So yeah, and Adam Duvall, great start, and now he's hurt.
Now he's hurt.
Now he's hurt. So and he's probably going to be out at least another month or so. So the Red Sox are snake bit. Chris Sale's back, but he's still working his way back into form. So
Yeah.
Jason DeGrom for the Rangers is going out again for his second time already in the early season
Hmm.
with discomfort in his pitching arm.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, which he had earlier. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes on the IL real soon. He came out of his game. The A's are terrible.
Oh,
Uh,
they're the worst team in
they're the worst.
baseball.
They're going to be the worst team in Major League Baseball by far, I think. I don't think they're going to even be in the hunt. Angels are going to try and hang in there. I think they did pick up a couple pieces, and they've got Rendon healthy for a change.
Right.
So if you got Trout, Rendon, and Otani, you got a pretty good lineup there, at least
Oh,
3,
yeah.
4, and 5. And if they get a little bit of pitching and defense, they could cause some problems. But so could Texas. Texas went out and bought themselves a team this year.
Yeah, Texas,
So
Texas
those
looks
two
pretty
teams
good.
are 1-2. I think Texas on top. Seattle's still trying to scrap. Remember, they barely made it into the wild card last year. They could end up in the hunt, but you can't give up on Houston.
Nah, no,
I mean,
definitely not.
that's the thing. If you have a chance to knock them down because they could flick a switch and just take off all of a sudden.
Yep, yep.
My pick there is probably for that division is I think it's gonna be Texas. As long as they don't have any serious injuries, I think Texas could win a close division. I don't think anybody's going to run away with that division.
Right. Yeah.
Then you look at the Central, and you got what
Minnesota.
Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, and Kansas City, right?
Uh, yes.
And
Cleveland's in.
and
Cleveland's not in.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah,
And I
so
and I think you're looking at Cleveland again.
I don't know.
Uh,
Minnesota looks
but
pretty tough.
Minnesota might be right. Minnesota could give them a run, but I'm going to stick with Cleveland. Uh, but you're right, Minnesota. It wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota wins that division. Um, then what? You got the East, and that's going to be
Yeah,
tough.
the Skankies. Skanks.
Skankies. But I think Tampa is going to win that division. I mean, they've started out hot, and I think
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I
But when
mean,
you
if
look
any,
at uh,
if the Orioles don't win, don't win a division, I sure hope Tampa does. I mean, because I just don't like the Yankees.
I hate the Yankees, but I think Yankees, and it wouldn't surprise me if Toronto both make wild cards.
Toronto, man, I tell you what, they got some hitters in that team.
They got some hitters, and if they get a little bit of pitching, they
Mm-hmm.
signed former Philly Zach Eflin, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help their rotation. So going to be interesting there. So I think you're looking at uh, Texas, Cleveland, and Tampa with maybe what you're allowed 7 this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see 2 from the East and 2 from the West. If you see the Angels and Houston
Right.
out west making wild cards, and then the Yankees and Toronto making wild cards from the East.
Yep.
So that's pretty much your seven, I think. One, two, three, one, two, three. Yeah, in Cleveland. Yeah. So um, I think that's probably what you're looking at in the American League, which a lot of it is same old, but you got a little difference there if Tampa wins a division rather than get in as a wild card.
Right.
And Toronto would be new because they just missed last year. Seattle beat them out. So, um, and then who do you think comes out of that? That's tough. That's tough. I don't think there's a runaway team in there unless Tampa keeps playing like they are now.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how they're doing it because I mean they still have a bunch of unknown players.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what they've always done. They've always contended just about. The payroll is always one of the lowest, but they usually are in the hunt somehow. So, um, but I think it's them.
Yeah, I think it's somebody from the East. I think it's either
Yeah,
the Yankees or Tampa.
right, exactly. I don't think Toronto's quite at that level yet. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think you're right. I think it'll be Tampa or the Yankees.
Hmm.
But you never know. To me, the Angels are a wild card kind of thing, and I don't mean wild card standings. I mean if either Otani and Trout get hot, and
Hmm.
then you're still going to have to face Otani at least twice in a short series
Right.
uh, as a pitcher. They could carry a team, either one of them, if not both of them.
Hmm.
And of course, you still got Houston. I mean, you can't count Houston out.
Right.
But I think you're right. I think it'll either be Yankees or Tampa Bay coming out of the American League. And you look in the National League, we got the Dodgers, the Giants, San Francisco, or well, that is San Francisco, San Diego, Arizona, and Colorado. Colorado, they're going to be a little bit better than uh, Oakland.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
you
Definitely.
know, I mean, they're
And
not.
I
They're
tell
not
you
going to
what,
be.
right now Arizona's leading that
I was going to
division.
say Arizona's leading the division, and they're built similar to Tampa. They're kind of a scrappy ball club, so they could hang around a while. But
Yeah.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they make the playoffs.
No. Uh, I don't think the Dodgers are going to win the division this year. I would think San Diego might edge them out this year for the division. Though I
Yeah.
hope not. I don't like San Diego. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
I don't like
I,
Tatis, and I despise Machado. Um,
yeah. I mean, I like to see Arizona win that.
that
So
would
you
be
don't have the
nice.
same old thing
That
with the
would be
Dodgers.
nice.
But
But
I
you got
don't
to
know.
remember the
The
Giants
Dodgers.
aren't
Yeah.
going to be scrubs either. So those
No,
four
but they're
teams could
they're
knock
they're
each
off
other
they're
off.
off to a bad start. So I mean,
Yeah, might not be able to recover from that.
yeah.
But Arizona could hang around. Then you look in the Central, and you've got um,
The surprise team is Milwaukee there with the lead.
I was
They're
just
12-5. And
Milwaukee, the Cubs, the Pirates, the Reds.
Pirates are 10-7. They're surprised.
They're a surprise, but I think that'll fade out. The
Hmm.
Reds are don't have enough hitting. They've got some pitching, but after the first two guys, maybe three guys, they really struggle.
Yeah, I like their Lodolo or whatever.
Yeah, I like him. I like
He's
him a lot.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good fastball, great breaking ball.
Yep.
Then you got Pittsburgh is a young, scrappy team. Of course, they've lost Cruz for quite a while. Their shortstop, the
Hmm.
tall kid at short.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I think he broke his leg. I think his leg is broken. So he's done for quite a while. And I think it was at the point where he had to have surgery on it.
Right.
So that's going to hurt them. Uh,
Hmm.
so the Cubs are playing okay, but I think that's Milwaukee's division.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
doubt. I think
I
so.
really do.
As long as their pitching holds, that's the
If they're
whole thing.
right, if their pitching holds up, they're going to be okay. Um, then you look at the East and uh, the Mets, the Braves, Philadelphia, Miami. Um, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Atlanta, I tell you, I as much as I want the Phillies to win, and They still could, but I
Right.
tell you, Atlanta is just so consistent year in and
Yeah.
year out.
Year in
And
and year out. I don't see the Phillies winning the division. Uh, Verlander hasn't pitched yet for the Mets, I don't believe, but I think he's due to do that.
yeah,
So it's going to depend on how good is he to go along with Scherzer.
yeah, I
Um,
think they're as good as they are. I think that the downfall is the age of their pitching staff.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
and
Verlander, won't be able to go deep in the games,
right,
and
Scherzer's gonna good for
Scherzer the
great for
same.
six,
So
but after six,
yeah,
his numbers tail off. Um, so it's going to depend on the Mets bullpen a lot.
yeah,
Alonso's still hitting the heck out of the ball. He's having a good
right,
start.
right.
Um, and like you said, the Braves are just consistent. Freed, and now they're getting Freed back.
Hmm.
He pitched 5 innings yesterday and got the win. Um, so I think I like the Braves, then the Mets, then the Phillies. Though Miami's going to play tough.
Right, right.
They're uh, they're going to be they're going to be scrappy like those other teams that almost make it. I think, but I don't think they have enough to hang with the big boys. But
Right.
I think it's going to be Atlanta, New York, Philly, which is I think that's what it was last year, or was it? It might have been switched. It might have been the Mets, then Atlanta, and Philly, but it's the same three
No,
teams, I think.
I think it was Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta Mets. I think I'm not
Yeah,
positive, but
and I think that's the way it'll be this year, which means Steve Cohen will have a bird. Um, all that money he spent. I only see Milwaukee coming out of the Central, and
yeah,
in the West, I think in some form it's going to be San Diego, the Dodgers, and you might be right about Arizona, because the Giants have started off slow and the Rockies are just bad. Um,
yeah.
unless the Giants wake up and smell the coffee. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's San Diego winning the division, Dodgers at wild card, Arizona hangs on to get the last wild card maybe, um, Milwaukee a division winner, and then in the East, Atlanta, New York, and Philly. New York and Philly being wild cards. So that could be interesting because with both teams changing some personnel,
Hmm.
especially you get Taiwan Walker pitching against the Mets. That could be interesting. Uh, so that'd be a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah, and the Phillies get Harper back. I think they'll be, and
yeah, he's already taken batting practice. They'll get Rangers Juarez back pretty soon. He pitched a simulated game to Harper today. They were showing some of
yeah,
that. Um,
and I
and
think
Harper,
they'll make a move before the trade deadline to get a good picture. I think they'll be all
you're
right.
probably right there. I like their bullpen if it stays healthy. I mean, today, first game, you had Craig Kimbrell, I think in his sixth. Uh, no, he might have been the seventh. Dominguez in the eighth. Alvarado in the ninth.
Hmm.
Man, if they're on, which they were today, bam, bam, bam. Uh, uh, Dominguez, Sir Anthony comes in and throws 8 pitches and is out of the inning. 8 pitches, and that's with a strikeout. He's out of there.
Hmm.
So and then of course Alvarado came in and just shut the door. I mean, if they do that, then that bullpen plays like that, then they're gonna be in a lot better shape because then your starting pitchers only have to go what 6 innings maybe.
Yeah,
Because you still got Brogdon who's not bad. You got Bilotti who pitched well the other day. You got some guys out in that bullpen that can come in and take care of business. So I like their bullpen. Now,
yeah,
which
yeah,
how
their
often?
bullpen's great. Yeah,
How
just
many years have
updated.
we been able to say that in Philadelphia, right? Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
And my
Yeah,
heart
they
was broken the other day because Hector Neris gave up a
eh,
game-winning home run for
oh.
Houston. I was laughing my ass off. There he is, home run. Hector strikes again. I mean, oh man, give me a break.
Yeah, they're in the second game of their doubleheader, and Jake Berger went yard, 3-run homer. So the
For
Phillies are losing 3-0.
Phillies are losing.
Yeah, they're losing 30-0 in the
Ah, well, it's early yet,
third
and they
inning.
Huh? What
It's
is
in the
it?
third.
Third inning. Yeah, it's
It's,
early. Yeah.
it's three. Yeah, but Berger hit a 3-run homer in the
I
first.
don't even know who Berger is. So
Yeah, he.
he's something. All right. I think that wraps it up. I think if you look, I mean, the Phillies got to the World Series last year. I don't know about this year, buddy. Could be wrong. I mean, you get them guys hot. They are looking at Harper has been taking ground balls and playing some first base. So they're
Yeah, I think
saying
he's going to
even
be a
if he
first
can't get in
baseman.
the outfield because of the injury to Hoskins, Harper may try and play some first base.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
think that's what's going to be.
yeah. Uh, which then frees up the DH spot again to keep rotating with Schwarber. Today it was Castellanos in the DH spot. He went 4 for 4 in game one.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, you might have Realmuto play there and let Stubbs catch. They've done that a couple times. I don't think they like to do it very often because you only have 2 catchers in the squad. So
Right.
most teams don't want to do it if they only have 2. Um, so it could be interesting, but it wouldn't surprise me, and I am probably going to go out on a limb here. Wouldn't surprise me if somehow, some way, San Diego gets all the way through and ends up losing to Tampa in the World Series, which is not a heartbreak either for me. If it's not the Phillies and it's not the Red Sox, then I'd be all right if Tampa wins it.
I think it's going to be a battle of the East, American League East against the National League East.
Oh, do you?
That's
Well, if it is, it's probably going to be the Braves. I think they're just more consistent than the Mets. I think the Mets have a lot of high-priced guys,
mm-hmm.
but that doesn't always gel that well. So we can see what happens there. But yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if in the end the Braves and the Mets play for the National League Championship, unless they have to play each other sooner.
Right.
But it wouldn't surprise me if the others if San Diego doesn't get knocked off. It could be them and the Braves, but I think the Braves and Mets could play for the NL, and then the winner's going to play Tampa in the World Series.
Yeah.
I would probably lean toward Atlanta. And in all honesty, it's part of what you said. They're so consistent.
Yeah,
They're
you
very
can't. I
consistent.
mean, you can't go against consistency. I mean, like
No,
the Dodgers. The Dodgers are always
how many
consistent.
years we're winning the West, and they still could win the West again this year. Um, I think that's about it. I'm picking Tampa Bay to win the whole World Series. Uh, I don't know who Vegas has picked or whatever, but I don't necessarily care. I'm using the old eye test again. Uh, go from
Uh,
there.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to go against you there. But if we wanted to be different, uh, I think you're just going to be back to back.
Really? You think so?
Eh, it's a hunch, but
Why not, right? Why not? What's the worst
just
thing
to,
could
just to be
happen,
a
right?
little different. But I,
Houston?
but I,
So you're thinking
I,
Houston again,
I
huh?
yeah. I mean, I like to see Tampa Bay, and it could be Tampa Bay, but just to be different,
You're going to go with Houston. There's
we'll go
nothing
back
wrong
to
with that. Nothing wrong with
back.
that. And they are like the Braves now. They are consistent.
Yeah, I mean
And they,
Altuve, they'll get him back in a month or so, and
yeah,
then
yeah. And they have the horses, let's face it.
yeah.
The only way they could lose if they keep running Neris out as a closer. Yes. Home run Hector. Nice.
Yeah. So
Well, I see our hour is right about up, buddy.
yeah,
Close to
yeah,
it.
it's good to be back. It was a long layoff there for
Yeah,
a
we had
while,
that
but
long hiatus that we both needed a break from. I don't know about you, but I'm looking at like every other week, maybe, unless we have a breaking story. We could always pop in and discuss that. I mean, you've always got the NFL quote unquote hot stove or draft picks or whatever or trades.
mhm.
You've got and obviously if some injury or trade happens in baseball before the trade deadline, or when the NBA playoffs get a little more underway. If something happens big, we can always jump in there. But
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but barring all that, I'd say every 2 weeks is good, folks. That way you
Yeah.
don't have to put up with us that much.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So
You can only take so much of us.
that's true. That's it. Give you guys a break.
We get rowdy from the cheap seats,
That's
They,
it. The cheap seats,
obnoxious.
man. We got to recover. Well, you know what happened is they made us clean up our area from the cheap seats, and I'm like, I ain't spending as much time up here making that big a mess no more. It's too much like work. That's
Yeah.
bullshit. So, all right, pal. I'm
All
gonna go
right.
ahead
Sounds
and
good.
let's sign off here. And thank you, Bill, for coming back and for
Yeah.
us getting this baby rolling again. We will see you guys soon. Thanks to my pal Billy Smith and to our friend Dennison Graldi at Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, 856-690-9482. Keep an eye on the public, John. I'm going out and about in this area here in the middle of the country doing some comedy and some events and emceeing and hosting. So you can keep an eye out for me if you want. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. I don't give a and Bill, keep plugging away, pal. I will talk to you soon.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Hey, you guys have yourselves a great couple of weeks. We will see you soon. From the cheap seats, for Billy Smith, I'm John Harris. Have a good couple of weeks, everybody.